Hey, how's it going, YouTube? My name is Caleb Pilgrim, aka Gojira. These videos that we're going to be doing, me and my wife, she's not up right now, is going to be called Gojira and the Goddess. We'll be talking about our weightlifting, supplements we use, different types of training styles we use, yada yada yada. I wanted to start today with particularly what this one-up transformation challenge I'm doing means to me, what it's going to cause in my life, and what it's affecting in my life. In January, I decided to come clean off opioids. So I started going to the local methadone clinic. Now, during this time, I also knew I needed to work out. I knew I needed to work out as hard and often as I could to truly put on muscle and to start losing weight, because I know that methadone knocks down your natural testosterone production and it makes you lazy, basically. It's a long-acting opioid. So while it was good for my pain and my addiction issues, it was not good for my weightlifting or my general day-to-day life. The methadone clinic basically had me by the balls. I had to take dope naps pretty much because I was so tired. My day revolved around making sure I had enough money to afford my dose, and then making sure I had enough money to afford my dose on the weekend. So there was no money for protein, supplements, nothing. I recently quit the methadone clinic, really in preparation for the one-up transformation challenge, because I knew that when I went there, it couldn't be a permanent thing. There were people there for 10 years, and that's not where I wanted to go in my life. I'll fucking kill myself before I let that happen to me. So once my dose got low enough, and once I found out about the challenge, I decided to cold turkey. So for the last week or so, I've been going through some gnarly withdrawals. Which whose fault is that? It's mine, obviously. That's not the methadone clinic's fault. It's not the dope dealer's fault. It's not Whitley's fault. It's not anybody else's fault but my fault. So now I'm at a part of my life where the withdrawals are almost over, and I'm back in the gym, not hard, and when I don't go to the gym, I make sure I work out at my house. Now that might be some easy shadow boxing, that might be conditioning my knuckles, my feet, my shins, my bones in general for fighting. That can mean a lot of different things, and that's mostly what I've been doing since I've been withdrawing, is working out at the house, because when we went to the gym when I was still withdrawing, but I thought I was okay enough to do something, I was not, and it sucked. It was a shit workout, and it should have been an easy workout, and it just wasn't. So didn't want to do that again. So for the last week, during this particular week of the One Up Transformation Challenge, it's been a kind of a laid-back recovery, feeling like roasted over death. The next week that's coming up, I'm going to be taking more progress pictures, more update photos, yada yada yada, and I'm going to kind of get back on track now. So what this challenge means for me personally is a change of lifestyle. Going from a doper to a gym rat, which I'm going to tell you now, one's a lot healthier than the other. One's going to make me live a lot longer than the other one. So that's the good thing about being a gym rat. And that was my main thing with going to the gym, is I knew that if I didn't go to the gym, I was going to get fat, I was going to get lazy, and eventually it's going to cause issues. And I don't want that to happen. So going to the gym has kind of helped me focus my mind off the withdrawals. Being part of this one-up transformation challenge, it has put me in the mindset of I have to live better. If I'm going to win, and I will win, I have to do better than what I've been doing. That's not easy. When I started the challenge, like I said, I was on methadone still, and I've been working out since pretty much I started the methadone clinic on my birthday. That was the last time any other opiates went in my body. So 2 days later, I started the gym pretty hard. That's 5 days a week, 2 hours a day. Me and my wife, Whitley Woodson, we're definitely getting some good workouts in. But I noticed the muscle growth was not happening the way I wanted it to happen. And it came down to, can I deal with my everyday pain and use the methadone, or can I sacrifice the methadone and start being truly clean and healthy with a good diet, the same attitude I had on methadone? Because I'm going to tell you now, the methadone really did help. It put me in a different mind frame. Yeah, it definitely is government mandated dope, but I can tell you now, I felt a lot better on it. One, I knew I couldn't get high on other opiates, so I knew that I wasn't going to get high if I used something else. I knew that. I knew that. I love chemistry, so that was one of the first things. Like, the doctor didn't even need to tell me that. I was like, I know that when I use methadone, I am not going to be able to get high. Awesome. So while I was there, it put me in a really positive can-do attitude until I started to realize the chemical dependency wasn't any different. It's just the government giving me heroin instead of buying it off the streets. Which is to each his own. It started with me with pain. I did a lot of mixed martial arts when I was right out of high school into college. I have a pretty good record of 21-0 amateur. I have hurt myself a lot because I was never in the proper shape, and I always pushed my body well beyond what it should be pushed to. When I was a kid, I used to do martial arts. Once I was not really, I guess, like middle school, high school era, I would ride my bicycle around town to different little martial arts dojos, because I'm from Fayetteville / Fort Bragg, North Carolina, the biggest army base in the world. So you can imagine how many different martial arts studios there were. And every month I'd pretty much hit another one. And I'd get free memberships. Go there a month, maybe work for them a little bit, learn, go somewhere else once I start wanting money. And I did that for a good 3-4 years. So I really got to learn a lot about different styles, and I really got to get a lot of sparring in and a lot of competitive martial arts. And I really did learn a lot during that time. But I was not in proper shape. I was partying, I was drinking, smoking, fucking everything that you could possibly do, except really trying, which, don't get me wrong, I'm good, but, that put a lot of stress on my body. Which, yet again, that's how I got into the position I was in. First, it started with pain, and then it was, well, if I don't use, I'm going to have anxiety. If the anxiety is there, it's crippling. Now, since I've stopped the methadone clinic, the pain is definitely there. Like I told my wife, it feels like every bone I've ever broke, someone digs a fucking knife into my fingers and my joints, in my wrists, knees, elbows, shins, legs. Every place that could hurt hurts. Liver, kidney. But I'd rather hurt now than continue the methadone. I know that if I continue the methadone, like I said, there are people there at the methadone clinic for 10, 20 years, and that is not where I want to be. When I told them I was going to the gym 5 days a week, they looked at me like I was crazy. Like, how can you do that? Well, one, I'm not popping out a fucking kid every other year. Two, I've got the time to do it because of that. My goals aren't the same as most people's goals. I don't have kids. I'm married. I have my own house. I have my own car. There's no payments on either one of them, so I have time to focus on me, which is good. During the last week or so, we've really been pushing Whitley towards better martial arts skills. She has a lot of untapped potential that's not being used very well, which it will be soon. She was with me every day for the last 3 months when we were at the gym. I guess 4 or 5 months now, when we were at the gym, working out just as hard as I was, trying just as hard as I am. Now, she wasn't on methadone, but even then, she's never been to the gym like this. So my first goal was to get her big, get her pumped, get her strong, and make sure she can push that muscle, if she's gonna fight, which she wants to, for 15 minutes straight. I feel sorry for the chick that gets into the ring with her. If it goes 15 minutes, she's going to pulverize that chick. If it doesn't go 15 minutes, she's probably going to knock her out in the first round, which is, that's what we're training for. So Whitley has been with me every step of this way. We're helping each other out. I'm helping train her in a way that nobody ever took the personal time to train me with. Don't get me wrong, I've been to many martial arts studios. I tried a little bit of wrestling, jiu-jitsu, judo in high school, but nobody ever privately focused on me and my skills. I had to train myself and learn myself what to do, what not to do. Now, don't get me wrong, when I went to these studios, they were like, oh, don't do this, do that, try this instead. But there was never a one-on-one, non-stop, consecutive moment. When we go to the gym, I'm always right there with her. When we go to the gym, she's always right there with me. We always correct each other's forms, postures. We tell each other, oh, that's too heavy. Let's try it this way. Let's do this instead. Our training's going good, especially since the last 2-3 days. I've truly been feeling not like death roasted over. I want to say I stopped the methadone clinic on May 1st, something like that. Which is, that's fine. But for the first 2-3 days, it wasn't looking pretty. And the next 3-4 days, which put me at about the 7th, I was bounced back enough to actually be able to function. In the last few days, I've been starting back on the weights. I've been starting back on my shadow boxing. I've been starting back at the house, like I said a little bit earlier. Yet again, making Whitley do the same thing. Conditioning our knuckles, conditioning our feet, conditioning our bones. And we're going that extra step now. Tomorrow, we are going to talk about the supplements that we use, what she's going to try to accomplish with this 1-Up Transformation Challenge, and what it means for our lives now that things have took such a drastic change. And I'm not going to say it's for the best. I'm not going to say it's for the worst, because I still feel like roasted over dog shit. But at least I'm not on the methadone. The pain part's not the best, but I'd rather not be on the methadone. Plain and simple. So stay tuned for Gojira the Goddess, more of our workout videos. Check out my Instagram, which is hardcore MMA. Hashtag Gojira Returns. Check out Whitley's, which is Ryuchi 1991, which is The Goddess Rises. Stay tuned for more info. Stay with us as we make this journey as husband and wife out of my shitty addiction. It's affected us in a lot of ways, and we'll talk about that more tomorrow as well. Have a good one, guys, and stay tuned and root for me. I really want to win.